Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be for a silent, or the Silence from the Doctor Who series. Now, I'm not overly familiar with these characters. I've not seen the series before, but I have had plenty of people request me to do this look. So I'll flash on screen now the first few people that requested it. Obviously, I can't shout everyone's name because this video would go on forever, but here are the first few people. But the very first person that requested it was Lexiex Loco, if I'm pronouncing that right, so I'll flash your name on the screen there. So thank you so much for requesting it. Well, thanks everyone, but you're the first person. And yeah, so as I said, I've not seen the series. I will definitely get around to watching it because the makeup seems amazing at this show. But yeah, so not much else to say about this look really. If you'd like to learn how to recreate it, stay tuned. Started, I'm going to block out both my eyebrows because I'm going to be applying a fair amount of liquid latex on my face, and I don't want my eyebrows to come off when I take it off, so yeah. So I'm going to block them out, and I'm also going to be applying a plain latex ball cap. I'm going to keep the sides on because I need to cover both my eyes as well. So I'll pop links here and here to the tutorials I've done previous to this to teach you guys how to do both those things, just to make this video a little bit shorter. So I'm going to block my eyebrows out, put my ball cap on, and get back to you. Okie dokie, so there we are. So I've gone over the edge of my ball cap with some liquid latex, about 3 to 4 coats, just to make sure that the edge is completely disappeared. So now I've done that, I'm going to switch over to a voiceover because I'm going to be blocking out my mouth completely. You don't have to, but I like the effect it gives when you can't see your lips at all. So yes, I'm going to cover my mouth. So I'm going to cover my entire face with liquid latex, probably about 2 layers, and then I can work on building up the area on the mouth with some tissue and some masking tape. So once I'd applied enough layers, I took some regular masking tape that wasn't too thick, and I just applied it going over my mouth in strips going vertically and then a few strips going horizontally, just to really block the shape out. Then I took some more liquid latex on a sponge and just went over the masking tape, about 3 coats, just to make it a little bit flatter. Then I took some regular tissue paper that I've already torn in two, so I have the thinner halves, and working in really little strips, I was able to saturate the area around the mouth with liquid latex, then push the tissue down and then apply liquid latex over the top of that. That builds up the area to make it extra smooth. So I did about 4 coats of that, letting it dry in between, just to really flatten out the area. Then, as they've got this very elongated face, I decided to use some regular cotton wool that I buy in strips, and I pulled it into little pieces because it's a lot easier to work with cotton wool when it's in little strips, and I pushed it onto my chin after I'd apply a layer of liquid latex right on the end. And the idea is you push it in with your palm, just so it's completely stuck down. Then you take a sponge and you dab that around the edges of the cotton wool. You don't want to go in straight away, otherwise it will start pulling it off and it's difficult to work with. So once you applied it around the edge of the cotton wool, you just apply it straight in the centre and it just saturates the entire thing, and then you're able to mould the shape. So I did that for about 4 extra layers, just to really build it up and make it look really elongated. Just make sure it's completely dry in between each layer, otherwise you'll just pack it in and you'll ruin all the shape work that you've done. So there we are, a nice elongated pointy chin. So then I took the liquid latex and I went over my brow. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I need to round off the eyes, not so much make them angry, but I'm going to do the same technique with the tissue, and I'm just going to apply that over an area that I've saturated in latex in a very round shape, going over the bridge of my nose, making it as thick as I possibly can, slightly overlapping in the corners of my eyes, of my eyebrows, just so it makes the nose look as wide as possible. Then I took some masking tape again and I cut it into 3 tiny little strips so that I could stick one right down the centre of my nose, just over my philtrum, and one either side of my nostrils, just so I can make the nostrils a little bit more pointed like they are in the obviously in the series, but I wanted to make them slightly more elongated, so I stuck them down so that they were on the nose and then on the other end stuck to my lip. So once I'd done that, I was able to cover those in liquid latex and then let that dry. So once everything was all dry, I was able to start work on the foundation. So I used a Snazaroo Peach watercolour, about 3 parts of that to 1 part Snazaroo Clown White, just to make it creamy and go over latex nice and smooth. This will give like a nice pale complexion without looking completely white. So I applied that all over my face, neck and ball cap. So there we go. So once that was all dried and settled, I took some Snazaroo Black watercolour and a really fine tipped brush and just started work on the eyes. So I made sure to make them extra rounded but slightly angrier, so they're slightly tilted upwards towards the temples. And I also pulled the colour downwards towards the mouth. Then I took the black watercolour again and I just covered all of my eyelids, and I just tapered the colour off ever so slightly towards the centre of my face and down the sides of my cheeks. Then I took the same brush, just removed most of the colour and added extra water to it, and I used that to blend the colour inwards. I wanted the outside line to be as strong as possible because that's what makes it stand out more, but the colour on the inside needs to be blended halfway to the centre of the nose. So there we go. So I don't want to blend it anymore after this because I want to just draw on the other detailing first, just so I can see exactly where to blend the two lines that are centered either side of the nose. So I took the black watercolour again and a fine tipped brush, and I used that to draw on the lines around the temples, across the forehead, and the markings going down the mouth. I wasn't going to blend it yet, just I want to show you where I've gone and I can blend it afterwards. So as you can see, that's the shape I've gone for. So I've gone around the cheekbones and across the forehead and up and around the temples. So then it's a case of blending this colour inwards, just as I did on the eye area. So I took again a new brush with barely any colour on it, just mainly water, and I could blend that colour completely outwards. So you want the new brow bone and the cheekbones to be completely clear of any of the black colour. You want to blend away from it so it looks like they protrude more. And it does help after you've blended to take some more black watercolour and just really darken up the edges of the temples and the cheekbones, just so you can see exactly where the deepest point is. So as you can see, the edges are really darkened up and the colour tapers off towards the back of the head completely, so there's no harsh line where the colour ends at the back, but there is on the front of the face, which you can see where the bone protrudes. So then it's just a case of copying that on the opposite side of the face. So then it's the iconic lines they have going across their mouth. So I took the black watercolour again and a really fine brush, and I just did the shapes going across the cheekbone like an S shape, but then they tapered straight downwards over the mouth, and the colour really disappears as it gets towards the end of the chin. As long as you have the lines curving around the cheekbones and then downwards, it will look like the cheeks are sucked in, which is the effect we really want to go for. And I also elongated the nostrils that I've drawn, that I've cut in as well. Then I just took the watercolour again and I just did some sketchy lines going down the sides of the eyes and across my forehead, just to really wrinkle it up and make it look a bit more, I suppose weathered is the effect we're going for, but we don't want it necessarily to look like wrinkles, more like etchings on the face. So I also did those going around the cheekbones as well, just random areas, not making them look too symmetrical. And try to make some of them a lot thicker than others, and yeah, I mean, the darker you go, the deeper the colour's going to look. I then went over the bridge of my nose going horizontally, just to make my nose look a bit wider. So then once again I took a brush and some water, and I just used that to taper off the edges of the lines that I've drawn, not the lines themselves, just the edges, so they completely taper off into the skin. So where they start and finish, we don't want a harsh line. Then I did the same thing again, just to add a few more extra details with the black watercolour. I just drew on some curved lines going over the temple bones and just some going up the cheekbones to really weather it up. I didn't bother blending these colours, I just wanted these ones to look just really like scratches on the face. It's all just to add some extra texture so it doesn't look as plain. Then I took a rounded tipped brush so I could cheat a little bit. I took the black watercolour and I went over a couple of the lines, about 3 on either side, so about 6 in total, and I just pulled that colour downwards, the black watercolour, so that it tapers completely down the face, it makes the beginning parts of the lines going down the face look extra deep. I then took a Grimas Red Cream in 504 and I used that to go over my nostrils and slightly in the centre, just to make it look a little bit more irregular and pink in that area. And I also went over a few of the lines that went down the mouth as well, just to make that area a little bit more, not sore looking, kind of, they've got a hint of pink in that area, and I just want to try and replicate it as much as I possibly can. Then I took an eyeliner gel, this one's by Maybelline, and I used that to line the waterline of both my eyes to make them look extra dark when I put the lenses in. And there we go, so that's just a case of me popping on my costume and my contacts and I'm done. So there we are. So I popped in 2 black sclera lenses from eyesprite.com. You could always just use regular contact lenses, I just think these ones look just extra effective. I popped on a black suit with a white shirt and a black tie, as they wear in the series. They don't actually wear gloves from what I can see, but I've popped them on just so I can complete the look and make it look, I just don't want pink hands to show up. I mean, obviously I could have painted my hands, but as you guys know, I don't like painting my hands for tutorials because it makes a mess of the keyboard and stuff, so yeah, obviously if you were going out you would have to paint your hands. But yeah, so that's my silence look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope I did this look justice. As I said, I've not seen the series before, so I really hope this is okay. I will definitely get around to watching the series soon, I promise, because the different makeups that come out of this show just seem amazing, so yeah, I've got no excuse, I have to see it. But yeah, so that's my makeup. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please make sure to, the usual, rate, comment, subscribe and all that jazz, because it super helps me out. And yeah, so until next time, bye.